Nigeria. Oh, Dr. Bassi, so the but I also know that, we know
I remember the first time we went to the they keep telling us to get connected. For myself, I think we'll try and do as much as we can within the and I think the terms of reference is quite clear. There is no doubt about it. So I will keep it short. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that clarification question. We note your comment. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much for availing your time to serve on this particular committee. This is a historical occasion because NIDCOM was set up to harness the resources, skills, talent, and exposure of Nigerians in the diaspora for national development. This committee is to help us appropriately to work out the template for our engagement with the various diaspora organizations globally, and also to create a database of such organizations. We appreciate and thank the chairman, CEO of NIDCOM, Honorable Irewa, who is on point in setting up this particular committee. We look forward to receiving your report in 1 month's time. Thanks for your availability, for your patriotism, for your nationalism. We look forward to a better Nigeria through harnessing our diaspora resources. God bless you, and long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and see you all soon. I miss you all. Post-COVID, I hope we can all see physically.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much, Chairman. We now hand over the meeting to Professor Bola Akinterimwa to continue, while those of us who are here as officials will bid you goodbye. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Happy celebration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Dr. Adewusi, are you there? I can't see you.
I am. This is Adewusi.
Okay.
This is Adewusi.
Yes, I'm seeing you. Where is Dr. Chief Peter Moses? Where are others? I'm not seeing them here. Are they listening? Are they connected? Now, we will have the next 20 minutes. Oh, very good.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, our agenda in the next 20 minutes is simply to have a quick look at the video. I am thinking that since we have 2 or 3 main tasks to address, there are 2 ways I'm suggesting. The possible way is to have a committee. We divide ourselves into 2 or 3 committees. One committee, for instance, to look at the issue of modus operandi of relations with the diaspora, Nigerian diaspora. And there are 2 questions there. The chief executive told us that we have about 17 million Nigerians in the diaspora. The question is, will one umbrella organization be good enough, be effective enough to deal with that? I think a special reflection group will begin to look at that. If one umbrella group will not be able, then how many? Is it the continental approach as we have it? For instance, I am aware that Honorable Bandi is in charge of NIDO Europe. We have from a record, Shikelu Kingsman, or I think it's a new person now, Oprina Kingsman, as chairman of NIDO Africa. We have Obed Monago for the Americas. Professor Menike Ejiogu for Asia. While Honorable Gary Linus Unamadu is in charge of the Oceania. In other words, are we to encourage the continental approach or what? So one committee can look at that. Another committee will look at the issue of template for guidance. The NIDCOM, for instance, is looking at how it can be guided in authenticating, registering, and creating a database. Can the group begin to look at that? Then there is the general report that we should provide data, a database on each diaspora organization. That one should not be a problem. We can link up with the continental Germany to give us information on the various groups under them. So I think that these few minutes that we have, can we look at how to go about that, and then fix a time against next week when this first particular week we will be able to explicate what we have done. Before our inauguration, I made it clear that we should be identifying the various diaspora groups that we need to compile them. And we are told that the chief executive told us about the Coventry University, where we have a good number of Nigerians in diaspora. All these, I trust that, look, we will give them more than they want from us. That, look, we have a committee of experts, of responsible people, of patriotic people. I look at the names of the people that have been so appointed, and I'm very sure that, look, it cannot be a committee that will disappoint. We will be a source of inspiration to the NIDCOM. So what's your view? What are the views of my colleagues? What's my brother Ambassador saying?
Okay, you mentioned, I just want to quickly say something. You mentioned three committees. Okay, so if I get it right, you said the first committee will deal with the umbrella, organization, and a continental issue. Number two, the second committee will deal with the template, for it, and the registration of database, and compiling either a database of various groups. You didn't mention, the job for and the third committee, or maybe I missed.
No, you didn't miss anything.
Okay.
Our local language here, you say your head is correct, which means that, look, you see the third one is holistic. They are supposed to design the mode of engagement.
Okay, mode of engagement. Okay.
Yes, that's what I call modus operandi.
Okay.
So that's what they want from us.
Okay. So that would be mode of engagement, by diaspora with NIDCOM, correct?
Yes, precisely.
Okay, very good.
It's supposed to be part of our recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
But we will work it out.
Okay.
So the ingredients, the elements, are those that I've just tried to identify, that we'll be looking at them one by one.
Okay.
And then as we are getting the report,
In fact, the working committees, as they are coming up with ideas, we'll be putting it on the general platform for everybody to contribute to it.
All right, thank you, sir.
It's well with you, my brother.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
You are living abroad as if you are at home. I can see the Yoruba cap there. Done the original way.
Yeah, good. Chairman, thank you, bro, for giving me the opportunity to also say excellent statement. Well, I think first of all, I want to say probably we need to create a group, a WhatsApp group or something like that, so that we can be, interact or send it text to each other and see. So one. Second one is the issue of the creation of the committees mentioned. And I think before we go, I think it's good to within ourselves also take understanding of the direction, so that we know our work will be more effective. When the CEO, the chairman, Honorable was talking, she mentioned that the actual organizations all over the world, and probably the intention was how do they work with those organizations? But we know that NATO was created with the intention of aggregating all these organizations, so that it will be easier for government to contact, to have a point of contact easily. And I think it's a good idea. So I think what we should be doing, rather than trying to recreate the architecture, I think what we should do is to see how the architecture and deliver. NATO have been created continentally, so if that is the scale, the architecture that we want to take up, then how do we connect? Now the question should be, how do we connect the other organizations to NIDO, so that NIDO now will become the point of contact for NIDCO. So if that is going to be the direction, then it will be easier for us to start working towards that direction, and that's looking at, okay, how do we make NIDO as the continental point of contact more effective and useful for the purpose. And that is how do we now connect all these numerous organizations to contact NIDO? Then the other one will be, which organizations do we take as necessary? Because I have discovered that there are a lot of organizations that are based on different criteria, religious, ethnic, professional, and regional, all those things. So which one do we look at when we are looking at organizations with which to work? So these are the issues that so that we know we will not start dividing more than we can chew, in terms of, because if we now say, we want to recognize all ethnic organizations, or all lay professional organizations, or all Nigerian national organizations, an organization that doesn't have any specific limitations in terms of membership. So those are the questions that is in my mind. I think we as committees also look at it and define which ones we go.
Quickly, just send the chance and copy the another meeting notice. They said this meeting will end in 1 minute, so you might as well copy that so we can go to the next one. Okay, just letting you know.
Okay. All right. You see, you made many valid points. There's no problem there. Since we are an advisory committee, our own is to come out with an organogram. We have the continental NIDO. We will now try to identify as many as possible Nigerians living abroad. And we now categorize them, put them in substructures. We are supposed to advise NIDCOM, okay, on what we do. We are not supposed to implement. We don't have any problem. So you have articulated the problems there. And I think the solution there. Look, we already have the overall body in each continent. They have leaders. Our one now is to now organize, put in structure the various other ethnic groups, professional groups under him, and then we make recommendations. I thank you for your suggestions. And your suggestion that we should have a WhatsApp group, actually we will do that one. And what I can do, in fact, I give you the responsibility on our behalf. Try, you have all the names of all of us, I can forward that one to you. We'll create a WhatsApp group, and then all my brothers there, Moses, all right? We should reduce the number of hours of his sleep with Adobus and yours. You do that one on our behalf. We will be the administrators of the subject. Do that one against this evening, against tomorrow, and then we begin to communicate so that within 30 days we will pass our examination. For us, for me, it's an examination. So let us see whether the Adobus, whether the professor, all of us. If they give us one examination to write, let's see how we are going to be able to play a 11-man team and see whether we will win or be defeated. Are we going to be defeated by Nipco, or we are going to defeat, the mandate given us? I think we will succeed. I thank you sincerely for your participation. Most unfortunately, I couldn't speak directly with Peter Musi. I couldn't speak with other colleagues, Ade, our brother in Canada. But I hope that when you are able to put this WhatsApp group there, when we have submitted our report, our own group, if need be, we can constitute another political party in Africa. All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
Don't forget to send Lisa.
Just one of them.
Yes. Okay.
The Honorable Chairman, I think I have an information. I just see the committee that mentioned, the 3 different committees. Is there a need for us to identify which of the committees we actually intend to work on so that we can be more organized and not jumping all over the place? So if say 3 or 4 people are actually specifically dedicated to one of the subcommittee, which is the template, they want to work on the template or the umbrella. This way, while we're still collecting the organizations within our jurisdictions, we know that we have a primary area of concentration in terms of what we need to do on that committee so that we can be more efficient and more organized. That's just my suggestion.
My brother, if you are correct, you cannot be more correct. With this one, we are not simply going to say X, Y, Z should be in this committee. We are about 14, 15, 16 people. We are going to have some people deflect, then it will come to the plenary. We will do that one in between now and tomorrow. Since we've been told that we don't have much time, I wouldn't know who is particularly interested in XYZ. So what I intend to do is to do a memo to say we agreed to work on something, indicate interest. And rather than even say indicate interest, my approach to it would be to all of us are going to be involved in all the issues. The mere fact that one group will have done XYZ, we are supposed to bring out our best. Okay, look at what Baba Demus raised. I know he consciously raised it deliberately, talking about the aspect of pro bono, etc. It's not that we don't know. But when somebody raises this issue, it tells you now that your own reasoning is not wrong. Now, when I think it's Obaseki, when he also raised the, yes, Obasikola, yes, Obasikola, also raised the issue that we will have a WhatsApp group all along. We don't even know that. The ideas are now coming into the center. That's the beauty of it all. And I think that your own is to pray for me so that I can live well. Because when you have good ideas, when ideas are already correct, what are you going to add to it? Absolutely nothing. So I thank you. I will quickly do you a memo overnight, and then we will be communicating. It is better to have the WhatsApp group so that we know who to send messages to.
Sorry, can I come in just a minute? My name is watching.
Oh, sir, the only barista we have in the group.
There's no other baristas.
No, the other baristas are not sir.
سجل باسم الخاص.
The one is barista. If I can remember.
Thank you very much. That will make you not forget that face and name again. Yeah, thank you. When you were speaking, you made mention of collecting data from continental chat from other organizations. You sound as it was the easiest thing to do, but maybe that would be the most important to achieve for many reasons. GDPR, some little chapters or so that you have no data. I've recently been requested the National Bureau of Statistics to contacted to ask for data of so it's a very difficult task for us to do. So my proposal would be, instead of us trying to get those data, to recommend or find a way to get an opt-in. Because if you have an opt-out, let's take for example, you mentioned State Development Union, I forget to mention Taraba State Development Union. So the question will be, why did we ignore that group and not? And then there will be a question, are we selective? Did we purposely choose these groups? Then those groups that are selected feel themselves more lucky or more important than the other groups that are not selected. So people have a way to opt in instead of trying to find data or groups of Nigerians in diaspora. It will be difficult and a daunting process that we cannot achieve. That's my opinion about collecting those data. And I have some names in UK organizations, but you can never exhaust all those names. So I think we'll look at the way of asking them to sign into it. Or maybe we'll use a memo in that regard, asking them to come on board and register their organization.
You see, what I've been told is that lawyers, they are learned, but all others, we are educated. So this time now, you are only proving the case that you are learned, you are an empiricist. You want us to look at the issue from an empirical perspective and from the challenges. Well noted. The way I was looking at it is that, look, we will do a letter to our various diplomatic missions to tell us, to give us an idea of the list of the various Nigerian organizations, professional, cultural, all along. So whatever the embassy gives us is what we work on. If somebody comes tomorrow and say we didn't put Taraba Union or one Igbo Union, then we have a reference point and we'll be able to justify that. Since we are going to operate on the basis of the objectivity of purpose, we don't have any problem whatsoever. And even if there are many different cultural organizations, say in a given state, Nigeria, we will need them. That's what, for instance, in income world, database. So anyone we miss by mistake, right? Can be added to the people. But if they are able to substantially reckon information or at least 50%, I think that would be a good starting point. So your point is well taken. My assistant here, I think
بالحكومة
connected in our place.
هي
All these
الهدف
suggestions
الرئيسي
are
هذا
not.
هو.
We will do that. And all of us, I think we will be happy. Our own group are set up. We are going to operate in an unprecedented manner, not the way government has been setting up committees and they will come up with decisions that will not be implemented. So I have noted your suggestion.
This is Christopher Kutsari. I'm calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Central Time. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have heard all the suggestions and contributions to the discussion. My comments are as follows. One comment was we have about 17 million Nigerians abroad. I will imagine that information is coming from somewhere and could potentially be a starting point. I say that because not everybody belongs to every organization abroad. I can tell you that. I am the president of the Nigerian Association of Physicians in America, the Association of Nigerian Physicians in America, and we have about 4,000 physicians in America. In this organization, we have about 7 to 8 million members. So if you want to use us and think that you're going to capture everybody, I'll be only capturing 1,000 out of 4,000 people. Is that a good idea? That's fine with me. As long as we are all understanding the limitations of what we are doing, that is fine. But if we assume that this is complete picture without stating the limitations, then we are not doing it. We're not doing justice to the question at that point in time. So that is one. Two, I hear a lot of Nigel, yes, he's been around. I can give an example. AMPA, for example, has been around for the last 26 or 7 years. Very well known organization, all around globally, Nigeria, ministries are everywhere. So I think all these organizations that exist right now should remain the way and trying to reconnect everybody will be a challenge. That would be a task for the program. I can tell you there's so many differences. We're all Nigerians, we're human beings. So to think that you're going to now try to merge organizations or connect organizations in any way, it's going to be a challenge. So that's just my contribution at this point. And Mr. Chair, I will have to leave. I have a long board meeting today.
بس ابقى اوضح مشاركة هذا العضو اللي هو كريستوفر هو طبعا عايش في امريكا فهم كانوا يتكلموا عن موضوع تسجيل المنظمات فهو بيقول مثلا دحين انا في امريكا عندي ما يقارب 4000 مجموعه لو قلت مثلا ابغى اسجلها هذه حتكون عمليه جدا كبيرة ليه ما نقول المجموعات هذه تكون موجودة فنحن بس نربطها يصير لكم معلومات عنها فقط ما يحتاج إعادة تسجيل من جديد هذه كانت
مشكلة. Success, everybody will be associated. By the time we are able to find the physicians, the lawyers, the social engineers, people who will now come to be associated. When they know that the NIGO in your area is doing well, others that have not reconnected will naturally come. So the NIGO will be a pole of attraction. Even at that, we are still not saying it will be 100%. The bottom line, the way I look at this assignment, it's not just in terms of the diaspora coming to contribute to national funding. No. But by the time we even have a record, an encyclopedia of Nigerian professionals the world over, which can now be used as reference materials for research, please, I think we have succeeded. Thank you, my brother. Go for your meeting. And now, I think it's my brother Muhammad that is...
Muhammad Umar. Muhammad Umar from Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're right. Yes, I want to say something. I'm glad to among this great committee. On behalf of Nigerians living in Saudi Arabia, we want to thank our government of working hard, engage Nigerian in diaspora in this development of our great country. We also want to thank the chairman of Nigerians, Nigeria in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abeki Dabri, for her support. We assure you of high consideration. I want to ask something, if we can, how we can link about this committee and embassy and Nigerian embassy or consulate in Saudi Arabia. If you can give us some letters to link or introduce about this, because here in Saudi Arabia, do you know, the law is very hard. Everything they need to give him some letter, or you can work alone, or if you want to work, you have to work with the embassy, or you have to work with the consulate. Because that I ask how we can link of this committee with the embassy and consulate. Thank you.
Brother Umar, you raised the simplest problem, because issue of letter, it's not a big deal. Do a draft in the next 5 minutes, I will get it done by the chief executive. That is a country, Saudi Arabia, a country that deals with paperwork. Format is normal. It's not just Saudi Arabia. If anybody is going to represent this committee at the governmental level or all along, the person must be properly introduced before the person will be seen as purporting to be what he is not. So you are right. A letter will be done. In fact, as a member, you are going to have a letter to the effect that you have been so appointed for your own records or posterity. I've noted that one already. It's because we are communicating email and social media that we don't have the original that you are going to have. And with that, our diplomatic mission or the consulate, whichever one you want to go to, will be appropriately so informed. So our committee is a committee set up by government of Nigeria through the NITCOM.
Thank you.
If you need any reference, there's no problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I would just want to quickly ask Alhaji Umar, did you get the letter in the mail that was sent by NITCOM?
طبعا السؤال هذا محمد عمر كان
Yes.
Okay, I think you can still use that, while you are drafting another one, asking you to do, because that would be a good, reference point for you to begin, or you can add that one to whatever extra letters you get.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Can you see a better answer? Yes. Who is making the other contributions before we round up?
Moses is here.
Oh, thank God Almighty.
So, yes, I wanted to just
Why is your photograph that? No light, is that NEPA? Is NEPA in your phone?
No, it's not available.
Okay, all right. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, is it brighter now?
Correct. Because NEPA is never expect power assurance.
No, we don't have NEPA problem in Texas.
Okay.
So I'm so glad to be in this committee. I think it's the due for such thing to happen for us to be able to make contributions that will be yearly to do. So the doctor mentioned, that we have so many diaspora organizations here in the world, Nigerian diaspora organizations, and I happen to be one of them. And in the past, I've told the chairman, I said,
I'm not trying to make any case, but I know, that when I was working with when first started and the Lola and family people, we understood and agreed that Andy had more members than Nike, and trying to get Andy to come under Nike. We tried that in the past for peace, and it never worked. So what I think we need to do is recognize what the diaspora organization and let them be where they are, and try to see how we can collaborate and work together towards the common purpose. Trying to make all the organizations to come under NATO, I think that may make our task more difficult. That's all I wanted to add, and also, like our brother in Saudi Arabia said, the letter will also be nice for everybody to have. The committee is already.
This is I didn't say I didn't want to make any comments. That was why I was just asking questions and giving points of information, and I believe the same thing that I said to Mark regarding the letter. If the letter was sent to you asking you to join this committee, I think that is a good starting point to have. The second thing that I was hoping that we can not worry about right now, and when we start the WhatsApp group and we can start discussing that, but it's always good to have a starting point. But what I see is that nobody is asking any organization to come under NIFO. It is not that is, especially when you say under. To me, that is very derogative to the other organization. So let's not use that word under. What people are asking is this: all these organizations, General Obasanjo, when he was the president, did not seek them out. He knew they existed. What he did was to say, I want to create an umbrella organization. So let's look at umbrella. And when you have an umbrella, you are sharing. To me, it is a matter of collaboration. It is a matter of people working together. And it is a matter of having a single point of contact. And I'll give you a quick example, and then I will shut up. If you remember, the British, when they came to Nigeria, what did they do? They didn't go around and start talking to every heads of village, every chief, every king in Nigeria. What did they do? They created a colonial administration, and they make sure that there is a point of contact. If you have 17 million Nigerians and you have tons of organizations, you cannot deal with them individually, and Midcom, I can tell you, is not equipped to deal with that. How many hours of man hours will you spend? So having a point of contact is what we should be using, and saying NIDO is a point of contact, and people can collaborate with it if they want to. They can do whatever they want to do. Nobody's asking them to come under. And I think that is very pejorative, and we will not use that word. It is a matter of collaboration and using them and using NIDO as a point of contact. And guess what? The late Ambassador Adefunye, God rest his soul. You know how brilliant that man was. He understood that point because people were coming to him, and you see him at the embassy, people giving him card. Oh, I'm with this organization, I'm with this organization. You know what he will say? He will say, go talk to NIDO. He's not asking them, go under NIDO. He just said, go talk to NIDO. So which means it's a point of, because it makes his life easy and he can focus on more important stuff. That is what we want with income. So nobody is asking anybody to come under NIDO. Let's forget that. That is not the purpose. Okay? Thank you, sir.
If
I may,
I don't have any footnote or endnote to that one. It only reminds me of talking to and talking with in diplomacy. When you talk to, the relationship is necessarily vertical and it is descending. When you talk with, it is horizontal. So in this case, you are simply saying, and you have answered the question raised by Honorable Abikadami when he asked, should we have just one umbrella or have different groups? Can we manage 70 million? You have explained that one so clearly by now saying that, look, every association, every group maintains its personality as it is. We are only talking about, collaborating. We are talking about sharing. We are talking about procedure or buildings. And the answer we are going to give in our report, certainly, because of the strategic analysis we have just brought out, it's clear that we are going to answer. Look, let the NIDO as general umbrella remain. The framework, the modus operandi of relationship will be collaboration. So nobody is going to be beyond that. Nobody is over. Everybody will be at par when it comes to relationship. And I think it's quite good. These discussions are coming in. And then, as raised by Baba Mose, they need, we will get in touch with them. We will get their own thinking about what they are doing. What NIDCOM simply needs is how we lead, contribute to national development. That's the basic thing there. So if contribution will be better enhanced under one umbrella or different umbrellas, that one will be specially addressed. But so far, I feel comfortable with the analysis of Baba Samuel Adewus, and I think it's quite objective from that purpose. Baba Nikasa.
Yes. Yes, Prof, I greet you, Chairman. The name is Honorable Benjamin Asubiti Okoli, and I'm speaking from Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm really honored to be among the great minds that I inaugurated today. I greet especially you, the Chairman. Thank you so much for availing yourself to take on this task. I want to add my voice on Obase Kola, who mentioned on the need for a chat group. I think that will help in streamlining the participation of members from everyone, of course, and it will give us a seamless cooperation and method of engagement. I also want to say that getting all the diaspora and organizations, will be very difficult. It will be a very difficult task. All the diaspora and organizations, because, for instance, let me speak about South Africa. NIDO is virtually ineffective. Probably I could even consider them to be default. They don't exist here in South Africa. And what we have here is a national organization of Nigerians, which is NICASA, as you have rightly said in the beginning. And NICASA is the Nigerian Citizens Association South Africa. That is the apex umbrella body that manages the affairs and things concerning Nigerians here, which I am the president. So it will be very difficult to get all Nigerian associations, like you had Mose talk about AMID. So in South Africa, we do have the same problem. We have various organizations, a lot of them socio-cultural organizations. But I think what we could do, in my opinion, is to allow these associations to stand on their own while we harmonize them through collaboration. We harmonize them through collaboration and networking in order to collect and get effective data. Because I think it will be a very difficult task for you, sir, to try to get every organization, the individual, one after the other, to get them to work as one. It will be very difficult. It will be an important task for you. And 1 month mandate that was given to us may not be sufficient if we are to go that route. So I will suggest that we do manage what we have, the organizations that are already on the ground, collaborate with them, network with them in order to achieve a common goal. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. You belong to the Samuel Adewusi School of Thought, which is still at blue. Remain what you are,
Yes.
but the spirit is collaborating.
Yes.
So that one is, imagine, is there. If it is possible to have to score 100% in the examination, fine. Okay. If it is only 99%, fine. But to score 49%, that's what is not acceptable, and that's what we are saying. So you see, your submission reminds me of what happened in the Lagos University Hospital. There's one woman selling food in the morning. So when people normally queue up, they want to eat. So one man whose turn is to get food, he was wasting the time of the woman. The woman said, "Please, what do you want? Ewa or beans?" Ewa, the English name for it is beans. He's now asking him, which one do you want? Is it Ewa or beans? For her, Ewa is when you have grounded that one with all those things. Beans is just when you just cook it. Which one do you want? So in this case, if you call it needle, or you say it's defunct, or that, are they not all Nigerians in diaspora? Forget what the name is. Samuel Adewusi has given us a good framework. Please, is compromise. We tell them, we give you the name you want to answer. Right? And you will continue to answer your name. But when it comes to discussion, contributions all along, please. Hasn't Adewusi spoken as Adewusi? Hasn't Obasikola spoken as Obasikola? But we are discussing the same issue. What did the barrister, I think barrister, has Musi not spoken as Musi? We are seeing different things. But what is uniting us is still this issue of fire template of relationship. So I find that
في نفس نقطة واحدة.
Before we go, all due respect, Prof and our chair, we've heard what members have said and what the committee is tilting towards, which is good. But I'll be mindful that NIDCOM cannot be seen to be going against the existing policy or laws in Nigeria. There's NIDCOM is recognized by the National Assembly.
Yes.
NIDCOM must find, or we must find a way to bring NIDCOM in line with that policy. And I agree with what has been submitted by people like Mr. Adewusi and Dr. Bashir, that name NIDO can be a brand new NIDO. It can be a reorganized NIDO. We can come up with NIDO can come with a policy to say the new NIDO will work under this framework, giving them mandates, giving them a guiding principle. For those who remember, the Nigerian political framework, like the PDP and APC, they do have diaspora bodies. And what they do, what those political groups do, they will have a framework to say all diaspora political organizations should work under this framework. So I believe NIDCOM can come with a framework to say Nigerians in diaspora organizations need to have new policies. All the 6 continents should have this framework to work under, and all the chapters will have this framework to work under. And then we'll have a brand new NIDO where every Nigerian will be a member. We can have 2 policies. All Nigerians will automatically be members of NIDO, non-paying. Then we can have the paying members that will have the financial members, who are all Nigerians will be registered in that database to be a NIDO. What I'm just trying to know is it would be so disastrous for us to continue to go against the existing National Assembly policies, which created 6 continental bodies, and then have some chapters under it. We can water down the continental bodies and make the chapters more relevant.
Then those are things that we can propose and then debate about it, and then finally submit to NIDCOM for them to choose what we are only there to advise or to have a framework. They will decide that policy to implement at the end of it. But saying NIDCOM should jettison the National Assembly policy of this country without the law being changed, I think that will be putting NIDCOM and look ahead with the National Assembly. And we are grateful that our Chief Executive Officer, Honorable Abike, was part of the National Assembly, so she knows the policy that exists for NIDO. I'm not talking about the existing NIDO. Let's try and open up our mind and forget about what is existing like NIDO. NIDO can be reframed, NIDO can have a new policy. The NIDCOM, with the advent of NIDCOM, definitely change. There's now a new boss, what the Americans say, a new sheriff in town. Now that we have a new sheriff that is NIDCOM, NIDO must change in line with the new NIDCOM. NIDO has been existing without any government body, but now that we have NIDCOM, NIDCOM can come with a policy which we can assist in designing, so that the whole NIDO will now follow up that policy. And all chapters and all other organizations like the NID, the Mikasa, they will now see a brand new policy that makes NIDO a friendly organization, that makes NIDO belongs to all Nigerians automatically. Once you are a diaspora, you are a member of NIDO, not financial member, but a member, automatically member of NIDO, and then you can work with it. But it's just a proposal that we can all debate and finally have an agreement. But just to summarize, it's about an existing policy that we should not let NIDCOM fall foul of it by going totally against what's already existing in the National Assembly without the law being changed. Thank you.
You have started your submission by addressing me as my lord, because now the barrister now has come up with a good template comprising, in fact, a tripod. We are talking eventually about renaming the night, coming up with a new template, all right, new framework, and as well talking about a new sheriff, which is part of what we have given as our recommendation. It's fantastic, because now it still goes along the line of Samuel Adewusi. That compromise, this is one element, one good pillar that can enable that particular compromise. So when we now have a new NIDO, let all brothers put your mind, the old NIDO, another organization, and now have criteria for them to be associated. I think it's fantastic. I've noted that one. It's a good contribution. I'm just a very lucky boy that all the contributions given to me so far are very good.
A quick point of information now, Prof. Okay. A quick point of information. I think when Barrister Chibuzo was I think we want to and see whether we can find a copy of that act. And if we can send it to all the members, find it and send it to all the members, so they can take a look at it and see how the NIDCOM Establishment Act will work. And it is not, I think it's about almost 7 pages. It mentions, where it references NIDO in there, so that all of us now at least have that Establishment Act, and it can guide us in our discussion, because without having that background, we may just be talking, in vacuum, without understanding how, what the law, that established NIDCOM actually says about NIDO. And that is what Barrister Chibuzo was referencing, that we may not be able to get around that without at least looking at what the law, the Establishment Act says. So that is just my point of information.
Baba is there.
Can I come in here now, please, Professor? Professor?
For circulation to everyone.
Professor, can I come in here? Can I come in? Are you with me?
Yes, Baba Abdullah.
Yes. Let me introduce myself. I'm Marisa Bello, legal advisor. Need to come. I also want to bring my contribution to this issue of NIDO. It's important for everybody to have it clear that the act, the intention of the act was to create a national commission. NIDO was mentioned in the act refers to every single diaspora organization. Any Nigerian that lives abroad is a Nigerian in diaspora. And if it's an organization, more than one person, two people, they have the constitutional right to be an organization. That is the understanding of the act. That's the reason behind the rationale. You can follow laws of interpretation. My lawyer colleague knows that. So let's not mix issues. There's NIDO Act. You know, there's NIDO organization. And in the act, that refers to everybody. Then that group that they call themselves NIDO, they have the right to say, yes, there's NIDO, that NIDO, whatever. Let's have that separation. Because the group in Mozambique that calls themselves whatever, they're also a Nigerian, they're also a NIDO group. So let's understand that and not mix issues. I just want to make that point clear. Because even right now, we're even seeking clarity to amend it for people to understand it, not to have that mixture. Thank you very much.
I thank you, Barrister. But the points raised by Chubuzo, Adebusi, all the other barristers, we cannot just set them aside because from an empirical perspective, all they are saying is that some people operate independently. Even in South Africa, we are told that, look, NIDO is defunct. Nobody recognizes, nobody talks about that. And we are not looking at connectivity with the people who have not been related. See, this is the issue. But the clarification you are trying to bring, as good as it is, please just forward what the law is. We have just been told that the agreement, the law is about 6 or 7 pages. Let's have that particular provisions, the law, circulated to everyone. Whether you are a lawyer or a layman like me, then we will look at it and discuss further. So, as the legal advisor to NIDO, you have done very well by drawing attention to that. We will reconcile the differences. You see, the French people, they have one saying, one proverb, saying, "Odd a control odd, a guard disorder, order and counter order, amount to disorder." So what the NIDO wants us to do is to prevent a situation of disorder. So the order of NIDO and the counter order of other organizations amounting to disorderliness so far, we are supposed to remove. That is our assignment. So all these issues we are raising, they are all terrible. We will know them and we will be addressing them one by one.
Sorry, I'll send you some material to the group, and I can't wait for this laudable idea of this workshop group to make it easier and faster. I'll send all the information we have on this issue, and I want to commend you for bringing that order into the system. Yes, as my learned colleague knows, we lawyers, we like following procedure. Only one person at a time can talk, so I'll send my piece back to the bench. Thank you.
That's all that number that goes up. Baba Abdullah. Thank you very much. All right, let me avail myself of this opportunity to thank everyone for the various positive contributions. And I want to assure all of you that this spirit with which we have started, I think we will try to sustain it. Our own is not a hashtag end, whether police brutality or whatever. There is no hashtag end NITCOM. No. But hashtag promotion NITCOM. That is our agenda. I respectfully thank you all. We will get in touch with every one of you within the next 48 hours. The suggestions, if my brother Abdullah is able to send us materials before I send notice, it will be good, so that I can then summarize and inform everyone. And in 30 days' time, by the grace of God, I will be qualified to go and write the examination for LLB, because all the baristas, they are giving me accelerated education in law. I will be the first person to go to the university in 30 days and come up with a degree. I hope I will pass. All right, thank you. It is well with all of you.
We also too, and thank you for your leadership. And I don't like to use big word, but I will use that one today. I will say sagacity.
Thank you.
I appreciate everyone from Mikasa, from Ali, from everybody. Like we said, as something impossible, that it is impossible, let's not use that word. We are Nigerians. We do not deal with impossibilities. We are people who, some of us who believe in miracles, but I don't believe in miracles. It's hard work. Let's do it as much as we can. Thank you all.
We love to see you. Yes.
Professor, I'm our brother in Canada. So I believe I clarified the issue of the email, and I believe you got it.
I got it.
Okay, sounds good.
Look after my daughter in Canada, please. I will ask her to speak with you.
Okay, absolutely.
It's in Toronto.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, Chairman, just to inform that I just created the group. So to use it, I subsequently had all the email and the telephone. I have that before.
If you know why the name Action Group was given by Obafemi Awolowo when he started, very beautifully. Awolowo and 2 or 3 others are the people always coming to meetings. Others were not coming. So the issue was that at every meeting with Obafemi Awolowo, they always